Blender for jewelers, how to make a solitaire ring in pavé setting. First thing that we're gonna do is choosing a ring size. So I'm gonna press N and go to my jewelcraft add-on. And on curve, I'm gonna choose size curve. My diameter will be 16.5, which is US 6 or EU 52. And right now I can begin. Now I'm gonna add a gem and I'm gonna choose 6.5, which is 1 carat. And I'm gonna scale it up. It really depends how high you want that. And I'm gonna choose around 2 millimeters, right about here, even less in here, just like that. And the next step is to add prongs to make the crown. Now you can add prongs from the jewelcraft in here, but I don't really like those prongs for this specific solitaire ring, so I'm gonna build my own. And what I want to make 4 ones that are gonna sit right over here. So in order to do that perfectly, I'm gonna start with the front, and I'm gonna make one perfect prong, and then I'm gonna rotate and mirror the other side. So I'm gonna start with adding a cylinder, and the vertices right now are 32, which is way too high, so I'm gonna choose 16. And in edit mode, I'm gonna move it up that it will be right below the rune disc itself, and move on the x-axis right here. Now it really depends right here. Now it really depends how much gold you would like it to be. I like when you see a little gold, and right now I'm gonna make the ring for render, of course, so it will look perfect. But if you decided to print it and cast it and set the stone inside, for 1 carat, I will not recommend less than 1.3 millimeters, the diameter, so that you will have enough material to set the gem in it. And just like you can see, I put it inside of the gem a little, not a lot. And the bottom part, I'm gonna move right over here. Now I will not like to cross the middle line, so it will be our center. And the top part right now, I'm gonna extrude up on the Z-axis. If you wanna cast it, I would recommend going as high from the top as at least 1.5 millimeters, just like that. So the person that set the stone will have enough material to work with, and you can leave it just like that. But because we are doing for render, I'm gonna move it right over here, that it won't be too high. Again, up to you what kind of setting you like. If you want the claw, you need a lot higher, but I like it when it's just about here. And scale it. I'm gonna rotate and move it over here. And now I'm gonna bevel this part. And by scrolling the mouse, I'm gonna add segments right over here. And in the bottom part, I'm gonna add loop cuts. I think this will be enough. And I'm just gonna move them on the x-axis so they will align with the gem. Not too close, but not too high, because I would like to look at it when I have this diagonal line. Make it straight as possible. And I'm gonna look from the right side. Right now it's really straight, and I would like it to be at the bottom a little bigger. So I'm going to scale it with proportional editing. And I'm just going to scale it just like that. Even in here, even in here. I don't know how this one moved, so I'm gonna press SZ and then 0, and everything will be at the same line again, this one too, and scale it. It really depends how thick you would like it to be. I'm gonna scale this down a little. And if you like the shape, and just like that. Right over here. Now, if you like the shape, I'm gonna add a subdivision surface right over here and shade smooth. Now, I think it's way too close to the gem. I don't really like it, so I'm just gonna move it a little. And this one also. And the bottom part, I'm gonna delete the face, X face. So later on, I can fix that it will be perfect with our size. And if you're happy with the shape and how the prongs looks like, and from the top, I'm gonna rotate right over here. So I'm gonna place it where I want it to be, in here, right over that line. And in order to do a mirror modifier, I'm gonna start with the x-axis first on the front view. So on tab, I'm just gonna move those parts on the x-axis, and I'm gonna use proportional editing just so it will look okay. And add a mirror modifier. Move it up first. And the mirror object should be our gem, our round. Don't forget clipping. And I'm just gonna choose the parts that I wanna connect. Right here, I think all of them should be enough. And GX. And without a little bit proportional editing. So only the parts that I want to be connected will be connected. Right over here. I think we can connect this part as well. Right here. Again, play a little bit with the proportional editing. Right over here. And now we have those faces. And we're going to delete them. We're going to press 3. And we're going to select all our face. 3 is for face. And X faces. And press 1 again, so we will have vertices. And we're going to play around with this part just a little. Right over here. And now we move to the y-axis, and then we can just modify it later. Again, we have the center line, so we are going to move all of this part on the y-axis with proportional editing and press Y. Now, I think I want to connect really all of those and this part as well, so it will be perfectly clipping in the exact same loop. And then GY and a little bit, and just like that. And we have again all those faces, as you can see, and press X and face. Right over here. And on the front, we can adjust it. And I'm gonna press GX just to scale it down. Also this one. And if you press twice G, it will move at the exact same direction of the object. So you will not lose the correct line. So GX, and I'm just gonna shape it kind of shape. And also from the Y-axis, I'm gonna just move that part inside those two. And just play around with it until you find the shape that you like. Right here, move that one. I'm gonna press twice G, and I like this part. Now we're gonna connect this part to our pavé. So right now I'm not gonna touch that, only this part. And I'm gonna select this loop. I'm gonna lose that one and scale it down because our gem is right over here. I don't want them completely touching. And twice G, sorry. Now I don't really like how those loops turns out, so I'm gonna press right click, loop tools, and circle right over here, and maybe this one a little bit inside. Those two as well. This one can go up. And those one can go up. All right, so we have our crown. And now let's move on to the pavé. So before we continue, let's just be organized and call this prongs. And this one, big gem. And both of them, I'm gonna put in a new collection called crown. The next step is making the pavé setting on the band. So I'm gonna start by adding a gem in jewelcraft add-on, and I'm gonna choose 1.5. I think it looks the best for 1 carat. Here you go. And now to distribute only on that part of our band, I'm gonna choose the gem and then the size, and in jeweling, distribute on curve. Now it's best to work on the front view. I'm gonna tilt it -90, so it will be in the right direction. And the offset, I would like it to be around 1.5 millimeters where the top of the gem sits. So it's gonna be, I think, 1.2 because it's 1.2 from the center. So this part will be 1.5, even less, I think, right here. And now to move the gem, this is our central gem, our first one, and I'm gonna start with the end, and I want it to be right here, only half a ring. Now you see that those are not in the right direction, so I'm just gonna continue it and rotate until I have the right direction. I think here will be great. Yeah, in here. And I would like it the last one to be just in here, not too close to our crown. So I'm gonna move it, and the quantity should be maybe 8. Just play around with that. And if you decided to cast it, I will not do it less than 0.3 or 0.4. It will be too close. Even 0.5 will be great. So just like that. But now for rendering, I think this will be great. Let's see from the top. We're gonna see a little bit of a diamond and not too close. And here. And now let's select all our rounds and make a new collection and call it all gem. Now let's hide the crown. And so we don't select the gem by accident. I'm gonna press this little arrow. If you don't have that, you can choose this little icon and select the arrow. You can select it if you choose that. So our next step is making the pavé itself. What I like to do is I like to make this kind of box just for one and then array it all over our size. So I would like it to look like that. In here. So I'm gonna make only this part, this U shape. And then I'm gonna array it all over. Deciding to cast it and set the stones, I will not do it like this because this is very thin material. It will look something like that. So I will have a lot of material to work with and maybe make a small split here. But the person that set the stone need a lot of material to work with. And I will make a full one and not just a very small one like that, just like how I showed. All right, so I'm gonna start by adding a plane and move that. So one part will be, I already have a line, so it's great. I'm gonna follow the line. So it will be in the center of our gem. Now I don't want it too high. I'm just gonna put it right over here. So a little more than half of the bottom part will be inside of the ring. And this part should touch the gem side. Now I'm gonna add a loop cut right in the middle and delete those vertices. So I can add a modifier and add a mirror modifier only on the y-axis. So everything that I do in here will happen on the other side. And let's move it right about here. So it won't be too far away, but I still want to look, I still need more material. So I think in here should be great, just a little. And let's select our plane and extrude that until it's right over here, just like that. Not too close to the edge. And with G, I'm gonna move it. And then again, from that side, I'm gonna choose the middle part as much as I can. So it will be in between those two gems right here. And I have a box. I'm gonna add one loop cut at the center in here and another loop cut on those two parts. Here you can see that. This is how it's supposed to look like. And we're gonna select those two squares. And on the front view, we are gonna extrude it up Again, it really depends how the pavé you would like to see the pavé. I think right in the middle of that line will be great. And scale it down right here on the top. I'm gonna move it on the y-axis, even scale it more. But right here, and this one I'm gonna move in here, and that one in here. And I'm gonna add another 2 loop cuts and add a subdivision surface modifier, shade smooth. And I'm gonna press 3 and select those parts and press X and delete our faces. Again, we have faces inside, and I'm gonna delete those 2 because I want to array them and connect them at the end. So this will be enough. Right here. And I think I would like to scale those parts up a little in here and maybe scale it. And those parts I'm gonna scale again, so it will be smaller. And I'm gonna choose individual origins. So everything will be small right here. And those 2 parts can go. And we have our prongs that are inside of our gem. I'm gonna add another loop cut right in the center. And I'm gonna select those parts, only the middle line. And I'm gonna scale it down, just move it down so it will have that U shape in here. Keep it in the middle, right here. And right now, the gem are kind of, I can move it even lower, even. And now, as you can see, our gem is inside of our band, and you can use the cutters. You can use the cutters in here, but I don't really like the boolean that that happen with this specific mesh. So I'm gonna make a hole on my own because we're gonna array it anyway. We need to apply the mirror modifier. And then we're gonna choose all of these parts right here and press I, scale it a little, X, and delete the face. And now we have a loop. And clicking right click, circle, let's scale it and see how it looks in here. We can even scale it more right here. And on the front view, I'm gonna extrude and scale it. Again, extrude. I think right about here it's enough. We don't need even more. And press F. I like to press I again, so it will be even straighter. And Shift E to crease it to a perfect crease. And also this part crease and our circle right about here. Not 100%, just less than 100%, so it will look flow in our mesh. And this is how it's supposed to look like. Maybe this one can go down a little so it will flow a little. So it will look better. Kind of look like a tooth. Just like that. And if you're happy with the shape and you don't want to change anything, we can array it. So on the front view, I'm gonna add an array modifier, move it up so it will be first. And I'm gonna add an empty because I want it to go around the size shape. So I'm gonna uncheck the relative offset and check the object offset. And our object should be our empty right here. And I'm gonna rotate so you can see right in here. And we have our middle line, so I want it to be as much as I can perfectly in the middle. And now, as you can see, those parts right here are really far away. So I really need them to be close so I can merge them to be one object. So I'm just gonna move that part here and just play around with this and make it as close as possible in here. And also this part and that part. Those ones are really close to each other, so it's good. Let's move this one higher. Just so it will look better by the end of the mesh. Right here, can move this one. And of course we need to make more, so they will all fit. We have 8. This one can go higher. And right now, after we are happy with the shape that we made and we don't want to change anything else, we can apply the array modifier. And to merge them, we're going to select one loop, the 2 loops that are close to each other. One here and one here. And we're going to press M and we're going to choose by distance. So every vertices will be merged together with the vertices that are close to it. And if it's not merging, we just need to check this little box. And we can see that the merge distance is really low. And in order to do that, we needed to delete some zeros. Till now, we're gonna lower it to 0.1 and we can see that everything is merging right here. And we are just gonna select all of them, each and every one of them, and merge in center. And after we finish that, we can see that this part, it's a little wobbly. On front view, I'm just gonna fix that by moving Great. So this is our pavé setting, and we can see it without gem, every hole in its own place, right here. We'll connect the crown to our pavé. Let's just fix this part so it will be right on top of our ring in here. Right here. So to connect both of them, we need them to be in the exact same state. So when we join them, one of them is mirror and the other one isn't. And we need it to be mirror in a very specific way. We need it to mirror in only on that part. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to apply the mirror modifier. And in edit mode, we're going to delete the left part, only the vertices, and add a mirror modifier on the top, of course. Object, the object is the round, and clipping, very important. And we're going to do the same for this one, for the pavé. And again, the object is big gem. And again, clipping, very important. And now we can join them, Control G. And they are both the same right here. Right now, we have it only on the x-axis, and we are going to do that on the right axis as well. I think that it's on the right. Let's hide the gem. Right here, we see that everything here is selected, vertices, and I can see that some of them are crossing. So I'm just going to choose all this loop, GY, to move it. Press Y, clipping, GY, and just connect everything right here. And now we can work on both sides. So let's start with deleting those faces that I want to connect. I think only this one. Maybe that part too, in here. And press X, faces. And let's start with making a face in the bottom part to close it. So we're gonna select all 4 of them and press EY, so they will be clipped right in the middle, right here. Connect them both perfectly. I need to know the exact number of our vertices, so it will be perfectly combined together. In order to do that, I'm gonna press this button and choose statistic. In here, you can see the statistics. It will show you anything that happens on the scene. And when I choose this loop, don't forget that it's only half. I have 7 vertices. And in here, I also have 7 vertices. So it should work perfectly. I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3, and 4. All 4 of them right from the middle, and press F. And then I'm going to select the bottom part to see how it's aligning. Again, F. And to continue, I'm just gonna select our edge and press F again. It will know automatically how to combine both of them. And I have this part. And I can scale it up a little. And maybe this one move. Now it's really up to you how you would like it to look like. now if you're gonna print it, you don't want this part to be too thin, so right over here should be enough, right here. And now for the bottom part, I'm just gonna select in here our loop, and I'm gonna extrude that just a little in here. I'm gonna scale it so it will be straight, SZ and then 0, so it will be straight ahead. I would only like to work with that part, so I'm gonna select with A everything except those two loops, and I'm gonna press H, and let's hide the little gem. And only at the bottom one, I'm gonna move that. I'm gonna see here that I'm in the right vertices. I'm just gonna play with it until I find the shape that I like. I would like it to be a little square right here. And those parts as well, right in here. Right over here. And when I like the shape of the band, I'm gonna do Alt H. And I'm just, let's move it so it will be in exactly in the line. And then I'm just gonna press E and rotate. And at the end, I'm gonna extrude and merge them. And I'm just gonna fix all those parts so it will be the exact size that we want. Right here. And in order to mirror the gem, we're gonna select our first one. And we're gonna add a mirror modifier. And the big gem will be our mirror object. And then we're gonna select all of the gem, and then the last one will be the first, and press Ctrl L. And we have copy modifier. And we have a perfect mirror. And we have our Solitaire Pavé setting right here. And we can add a material right here. And we have right here from the top our Pavé solitaire ring.